The Mets are not done yet. Max Scherzer signs with the New York Mets for a 3-year, $130 million contract. Wow. Late last night, we were hearing rumors that the Mets were getting close to Max Scherzer. Um, they were just finalizing the final details, and turns out we wake up this morning and bam, Max Scherzer has agreed to a deal with the Mets. Mad Max is going to be making 43.3 million per year, breaking the new record of I guess money per year, which was previously set by Garrett Cole at 36 million. Scherzer's deal also includes a full no trade clause and an opt out after the second year. That is huge money for a player going into his 37-year-old season, but it is Max Scherzer. He has been proven to stay pretty consistent and still put up dominating stats as he's gone up in age and then hasn't really seen a decline in speed or anything like that. In 2021, in his time with the Nationals and the Dodgers, Max Scherzer won 15 games and only lost 4. He had an ERA of 2.46. He had 179 innings pitched and 236 strikeouts. So, like I said, there hasn't been much of a decline from his Cy Young years, and there's been no signs of him slowing down. One thing to watch, he did get scratched from the last Dodger game he was supposed to pitch, but he could have just been gassed because he had pitched on short rest a couple times. So something to keep an eye on, but we shouldn't worry about that too much. Now this gives the Mets what they needed: 2 frontline starters to compete with that division and the rest of the National League. I believe they still need to get a couple more starting pitchers to fill out that rotation. After missing out on Mathis, a good comeback move. We've seen Cohen hasn't been shy to spend that money, and he sure as hell spent a lot of money the last few days. So good for the Mets. I'm happy for them. While I think the Mets will still add a couple more pieces, so right now I still don't have them above the Braves as far as for their division. I feel like the Braves still have a better pitching staff because the Mets starting rotation is a little front loaded, but that is yet to be determined. So we'll see on that. Now, what does this move mean for Dodgers fans? Are in desperate need of starting pitching. They were not willing to match that offer, understandably so, because they got other payroll issues and other players they got to sign. So we'll see what Andrew Friedman ends up doing. But like I said, they do need starting pitching right now. They only have Walker Buehler and Julio Urias and Tony Gonsolin, but he can easily be replaced. So we'll see what moves they come up with. The lockout's coming out soon, so we'll see if any more players sign before the lockout or after. Another team that was busy over the weekend was the Texas Rangers. They ended up signing Marcus Semien and Jon Gray to multi-year contracts. Marcus Semien ended up signing for a 7-year, $175 million contract. Wow. So the salary on that ends up being $25 million per year, which is pretty hefty for a 31-year-old player who hasn't really proven to be worth that type of money over his career. I know he's had a pretty good season the last 2 seasons, but it is a 7-year deal, and we know the history with long-term contracts like that. Marcus Semien in 2021 did post a 7.3 wins above replacement, totaling to 173 hits, 45 home runs, 265 batting average, 115 runs scored, 102 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases. All pretty dominant year last year. He was, I think he came in third in the AL MVP voting. So there's 2 different ways to look at this contract. Whereas if the Rangers slot him in at second base, then he's probably a very good second baseman again this year. Most likely he's going to want to go to shortstop, but we'll see. The Rangers, there's still rumors out there of them possibly trying to pick up another shortstop, whether as Corey Seager, Trevor Story. So for right now, we're gonna go ahead and slot him at shortstop. I mean, he's 31 years old right now, so this will take him into year 38. I'm not the biggest fan of long-term contracts, like I said. I would much rather have them given him maybe a 5-year deal and just add more money up front. But you also got to consider the position the Texas Rangers are in right now. They're not a very attractive destination for free agents as they're currently rebuilding and they're nowhere close to being in playoff contention. So For them to be able to land a couple players, they're gonna have to to attract some free agents, as you've seen with Semien, because he could have easily went back to Toronto probably for a 5-year deal and competed pretty much the next 5 years. But if you're gonna take him away from the playoff contender, you're gonna have to overpay for him. I'm sure he didn't want to go through another free agency. Which is why he was looking for a 7-year deal. Understandably so. So, I mean, good get for the Rangers. I'd rather have teams spend money than not spend money. You know, I think right now they currently had a $20 million payroll with all their rebuilding players they had right now. Good for the Rangers to go out there and spend money. The Rangers also signed Jon Gray to a 4-year, $56 million contract for Jon Gray, which is a pretty solid pickup in my opinion. Jon Gray is kind of underrated because he's pitched in Coors Field his whole life. Remember, pitching in Coors Field is not that easy, so Jon Gray did have a decent year. His stats are, he posted a 1.3 wins above replacement, 8 wins, 12 losses, a 4.59 ERA, with 150 innings pitched and 157 strikeouts. So you might look at that ERA and think it's a little high, but like I said, he pitched in Coors Field. He's going to be moving to the new Texas Stadium, which is a much pitcher-friendly park. We've seen players struggle with hitting home runs out of there. Even the most strongest power hitters in the game have struggled. So that will definitely help out Jon Gray coming from Coors Field, where pretty much you can hit. The outfield is so big and the ball carries so much. It would definitely improve his stats. $14 million a year is pretty solid for Gray. As you've seen, starting pitching is pretty expensive. So a nice, affordable contract. The Rangers were able to get Jon Gray. I feel like Gray will outperform that contract moving to the new Texas Rangers Stadium. So we'll see. The final move that the Rangers did this weekend was signing Kole Calhoun to a 1-year and $5.2 million contract. Just a little minor move. Like the pickup, it's going to help out in the outfield. The Rangers are still rebuilding right now, so they're going to have a lot of young players coming up. And key success that a lot of teams usually do is they'll sign veteran pieces to help upbring the young players, catch them up to speed. So it's a solid pickup for the Rangers. Overall, solid pickup for the Rangers. This does not put them anywhere close to playoff contention, but like I said, these are nice veterans that they can add to their team, help bring up the new players. They have a lot of prospects coming up. Division is still kind of way ahead of them. The Astros are still good. The Athletics, even though they've lost a couple players, I still think they're better than the Rangers. The Angels have been making moves too, so I think the Angels are ahead of them, and I still pick the Mariners over the Rangers. So still, we'll see if the Rangers end up sending more money. Hopefully, maybe they pick up another shortstop, maybe Seager, maybe Story. We'll see, but for now, I still see them at the bottom of their division. This move wasn't a free agent signing, but it was a contract extension. The Twins retained Byron Buxton to a 7-year, $100 million contract. They just lost Jose Berrios, which kind of sucks, but we've seen Buxton be pretty good when he's healthy. So if he's able to stay healthy the next couple of years, he should be able to outperform that contract, and it's good for the Twins fans to be able to keep one of their superstars. The final major piece of news that happened over the weekend was Kevin Gausman signing with the Toronto Blue Jays for a 5-year, $110 million contract. Gausman's going to be joining a rotation of Jose Berrios, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Alek Manoah. I'm not sure if I said that right, but that gives them a solid top 4 in their rotation with a couple other pieces that they have. Pearson or Ross Stripling will probably fill in for that 5th spot. So overall, that gives the Blue Jays a nice rotation that they're going to need to compete in the AL East. Gausman had a pretty solid year in 2021 as well as a shortened season in 2020. In 2021, Kevin Gausman had a 5.4 wins above replacement with 14 wins and 6 losses, an ERA of 2.81, 192 innings pitched, and 227 strikeouts. So overall, solid numbers. He did pitch in San Francisco, which is usually more of a pitcher's friendly park. He's going to be shifting to Toronto, which is kind of more of a hitter's park. So we'll see how that affects his statistics moving forward. I wouldn't worry about it too much. He's a pretty good pitcher. Gausman had a 30% strikeout rate and a 6.5 walk rate, which kind of worries me a little bit on the walks, but because we know those walks can add up, and in a hitter's friendly park, you get people on, it's gonna cost you at the end. So we'll see how that affects Gausman, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Does that mean for the Toronto Blue Jays? Does that mean they will closing the door on Robbie Ray? Probably. I don't think they will go after Robbie Ray. He's probably going to command a much larger contract as he had a pretty dominant year. So we'll see where Ray ends up. But I guess I think the Blue Jays are done. I don't think they're going to go after Ray. The Blue Jays are in a tough division, so we'll see how they project overall. The division hasn't really made too many strong moves right now. They've kind of been quiet, so we'll see if anybody reacts or responds to the Gausman signing. But for now, I think the Blue Jays are going to be one of the favorites to be on top of that division. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and go ahead and comment your thoughts below on the recent baseball signings. The lockout is coming, so I expect some more moves to be coming today on Monday. So we'll see if more moves do come on today, Monday. I'll go ahead and do a reaction video. So go ahead and subscribe for more baseball videos.